How do you know if your ILS approach was a good one? Let Cloud Ahoy show you. We've recently made significant improvements to the scoring and to the visualization, so with a glance, Cloud Ahoy Pro users can see immediately how good their ILS approach was. If you've only got 2 minutes to spare, no problem. Let's quickly evaluate how well you did. This debrief is being done on my desktop, but could have easily been done from an iPad in the Cloud Ahoy app. First, let's go to the segment information and take a look at the profile view. Compare how closely your altitude track follows the solid black line of the glide slope, and note that you've stayed within bounds of the glide slope beam, the dotted black lines. Next, take a look at the score. I'll expand the score information by clicking on the triangle and check out the specific details on what makes the total score and how much weight was given to each parameter. I recommend checking the scores for the localizer and glide slope accuracy. If you score well in those two areas, you likely flew a stabilized and consistent approach. In this example, we can see the score was affected by flying at a higher airspeed, probably not helped by the fact that we knew it was a practice and it was always going to result in a missed and not a landing. The segment information on the left pane shows the altitude where the missed approach was initiated to compare that with decision altitude. Cloud Ahoy recognizes when you've gone missed, identified in red, and you can see in the altitude profile graph the missed approach in lighter colors. By just glancing at the altitude profile and your scores, you have a good idea of how well you did. If you have a bit more time to review and debrief this approach in more detail, let's look at some of the other graphs and displays. You can compare your vertical and horizontal tracking of the CDI needles and use the slider to scrub through the graphs to animate the track in the cockpit view to relive the approach and discover where you might have been overcorrecting or chasing the needle. You can also overlay wind vectors on your track for even better awareness. Similar to the track view, if you scrub through the graphs or play the flight, the cockpit display with CDI information will follow accordingly. We've just completed a quick debrief of an ILS approach full of valuable information on how well you did. Understanding an ILS approach with full situational awareness will help any pilot analyze their flying habits and assist them to fly their next approach better and with more precision. Do you like what you see, or do you have feedback on how you were scored? We'd love to hear it. Just click the general feedback link at the top left panel, or the feedback button in the segment information and score view. Happy flying!